Hey there. So you might be at this point thinking about going to a raw diet. And I encourage many of you to really give this some thought. I will share with you that when I first started thinking about it, I believed it was too expensive. And especially for feeding Great Danes, was when I first started thinking about this. And then the more I've gone down this path and the more analysis I've done, the more I realize just how beneficial it really is and that it is not as expensive as we might think. Is it right for 100% of the dogs? Probably not. Some dogs may still need to have their food lightly cooked. Some dogs may have who knows what kind of issues that we need to figure out, but we can't say anything is perfect for everybody or everything, right? But I will tell you that the raw diet for many, 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 many people is helping to address behavioral issues. It is helping to address wellness issues. It is helping to address performance issues in sport dogs and agility dogs and, that sort of thing. So no matter what topic you are trying to address in your pet's health, nutrition is a core component to that. So as you start thinking about going into the raw diet category, you have a number of options. You have the option of buying a commercially prepared product that are often they're these frozen discs of food, and they are raw. They've been prepared and put into these bags and frozen raw, and then you come back and you add them, defrost them and put it in a bowl and call it a day. I find that to be quite expensive, to be honest with you. I have a few clients who feed that, and I've done the calculation, and it comes out pretty pricey. But it's convenient. You have the option of going with a raw model where you calculate the percent of organ meat, protein, muscle meat, protein, all the fleshy part of that, the bone, the calcium, the marrow, and vitamins and minerals, and you calculate all those things out. That option was not one that I wanted to choose. I think it is certainly, I think many of the dogs who are on that love it, and people are seeing great results. Too complicated for me. If I thought my dog's life depended on it, would I go that route? Sure. But I'm finding a better quality option for me in a different format. So you have this calculated all out, source fresh meats from the butcher, from hunters and so on, and calculate all that stuff out. There are people who follow what's called a prey model, which is you go get a bird, right? You go get a squirrel, you go get a rabbit, and you hand it to the animal and say, go enjoy. And they eat feather, furs, head to tail, the whole bit. And that's their meal. That's what our animals eat, is flocks and feathers and whatever the hunters and people are finding out in their fields, right? A lot of people would have discomfort with that model, but it works, right? If your dog didn't have you, if humans weren't around and your dog were out in the woods, that's exactly what he would do. So if you talk about evolutionary appropriate diet, that's exactly what your pet would do. Those people who follow that prey model will tell people like me and you that our dogs don't need vegetables, that they don't need fruits, that they wouldn't go be crunching in somebody's garden given the opportunity to go chase down a rabbit. And there's truth in that, right? But when we get into the situation of trying to manage our dog's health and we don't have that prey model to draw on, then we've got to do other things that create vitamins and minerals and fiber and, the dietary needs that our pets have. So again, this is where most of us land in, how can I get a raw diet in a commercially prepared way? There are some good ones out there. There are things like Honest Kitchen, Stella and Chewy's, just to name a couple. I'm not representing any brand here, but those are some of the common ones. I actually tried Honest Kitchen with Poppy after I had been using Volhard for a while, and I wanted to start doing some comparison. I tried Honest Kitchen. It is more green. There's a lot more greenage in that mix of stuff. These products have base mix, right? It's everything you need but the meat in a dehydrated or freeze-dried form. You add warm water and then you add meat, and that's what your pet eats for the day. When I tried Honest Kitchen, my dogs liked it, but I actually found Poppy to be losing weight, a significant amount of weight in a pretty short period of time of this diet. So what wound up happening there was it was going to wind up costing me more to feed her that than it was the Volhard, because I had to feed her more volume to just manage her weight. So you've got to be aware of all of this as you're making your decisions. And try and figure out what makes the most sense for your pet as you're moving into this category. I do not love the frozen little discs of food. A friend of mine, we've chatted about this a couple of times, but they feed, it's a dehydrated product. So it's really, it looks like a little hockey puck. It's as dry as it can be. You have to put water on it and let it sit for quite a while before it re-moisturizes the stuff, and then you can mash it up and give it to the dog. The dog likes it, but I'm not seeing fresh, real meat in there, right? And that's the thing that concerns me, right? So I love my Volhard. I am seeing many people able to mitigate wellness issues that their dogs are having, especially seasonal issues. People are calling me and saying, my dog is acting like a puppy again. So, this is part of that wellness consult that I want to do for everybody, and to walk through that. Because if you have a 2-year-old Jack Russell Terrier, let's say, right, or a 2-year-old Boston, and they're normally bouncing off the walls filled with energy, and they're like, I'm good on the couch. We need to say to ourselves, is my dog acting and functioning at the right expected level for their breed and their age? And if the answer to that is no, then there's likely to be a nutritional problem. If you have a dog, and I've seen this, if you have a dog that is having difficulty, he's young, he was like 1.5 years old, maybe not even that old. He was having difficulty learning. He was acting out. He was willing to bite most anybody. And he had a really bad attitude. He wasn't retaining any of the training. And we tried puppy lessons, private lessons, group lessons, board and train. And it wasn't until that dog lived with me for a couple of weeks that I said, I can't fix him. Training is not working. Training, he'll do it for the day, but tomorrow it's like Groundhog's Day and we start all over again. What is happening that this dog is not retaining his training? And I remembered a conversation at one of the trainers conventions with Wendy Volhard, and she was talking about Chinese medicine, and she was talking about dogs that are hot and dogs that are cold. And I started doing a little more research, and he matched every symptom of a hot dog. The protein source that he was eating was fueling the fire, and we needed to be cooling him off. And when we did that, his entire demeanor changed. Everything changed. So food really does matter. I've gotten off subject a little bit, and I apologize for that. But so no matter what the issue is that you're trying to resolve, even if it is just, I want to keep my pet as healthy as long as I can, and we have 0 issues today, and I want to maintain that, or you have a dog with aggression issues, or fear-based issues, or they're climbing out the windows and crawling through the doors when you leave the house. I'm trying to stay compliant because we get into that so easily. Food matters. Food could be the catalyst that begins the change and the resolution to everything. So again, let me just recap. In this raw category, you really have 3 choices. The prey model, which is raw, it's just here. Here's the bird, here's the bunny. You can source those proteins or those animal proteins yourself and do the calculation of how much the dog should eat, and you prepare that in the bowl. So those are true raw models. You can do these commercially prepared raw solutions, which still have issues of their own, in my opinion. And then these dehydrated, freeze-dried type products. I love the dehydrated Volhard because I know the nutritional quality is there. That's been verified time and time again. So many issues are being addressed as a result of it. It is tested as a product before it is ever packaged and shipped multiple times for quality assurance purposes. There's never been a recall. It at this time is not commercially marketed. You really can't go see ads or any of that kind of stuff popping up for them yet. You're not going to find it in any of the boutique stores. You're not going to find it anywhere but at the Volhard site. That's changing over time. I think they've hired a director to help with some of their growth. There is a new product coming out that will be gluten-free, even for our pets. So that's going to be awesome. But it's the category that made things a whole lot easier for me as a non-grocery shopper and a non-recipe follower. But it gives my dogs the nutrient balance and the quality that they need. And many clients, my dog training clients in my wellness space are seeing tremendous results and tremendous offset of other costs, in addition to improvements in the quality of life for their animals. So it is something that I encourage all of you to consider. And if you have questions, please let me know. Volhard Dog Nutrition. Use the coupon code Dana Brigman, Dana Brigman, will make you an affiliate of mine, which means you have access to me for Q&A and support with the products and the questions that you have. And then, of course, if you're ready for Young Living, my member number is 284-1061. That also gets you access to me for support for all things supplement and oil-based that can help us with everything for our pets and for our families. So look forward to helping all of you soon.